Hi and hello, I'm your host for the River District Podcast, Viveca Gravel, Community Development Coordinator for the City of Owen Sound, and of course, the River District, and I'm here with my friend Fred Wallace from Bayshore Broadcasting and Jennifer Wright, I'm the Community Development Coordinator. You are the Events and Activations Coordinator for the City of Owen Sound, and we're here to talk about Hockey Day. So I've got Fred Wallace and Jen here, and they are the experts on it all. And frankly, I just wanted to put Fred on a microphone where, he was up to bat, and I had all the power to ask him all the questions. So
fair is fair, Viveca. And of course, as Jen nudged me, it's Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada.
Oh,
we get told that, so Scotiabank, thank you very much.
There it is. Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada. Why don't you two just kind of give us a brief rundown? When is it? Where is it? And specifically, what are the dates?
So, Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada, January 18th to the 21st, 2023.
No, we're sure it's happening.
Sure. I am saying time is a charm.
This is the third annual. And
That's right.
If preparation is part of the package, then we should be well prepared because we tried once, tried twice, and through circumstances beyond our control,
absolutely,
got wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are pretty pro at this point. They threw an entire pandemic at you, and you're still managed to bringing it to the forefront. So thank you for bringing this to Owen Sound and doing all of the hard work that you're doing, Jen.
No, not just me. It takes a tribe, let me tell you.
No, absolutely. And you guys have been working towards it. So it is, again, just for our listeners and our viewers, what is the date?
Is January the 18th to the 21st, 2023.
So that's Wednesday through
Saturday.
Okay.
And all the details, like if you want to find out what's going on throughout the week, Hockey Day, or it's owensound.ca/Hockey Day. And we've got ticket sales and everything going on at Harrison Park. There'll be more details as the event gets closer about the parade into Harrison Park on the Saturday. But Fred, why don't you talk a little bit about what you've been involved with, and maybe like just a bit on how the youth in the area are getting involved in the hockey clinics?
Well, I think Denise Reed has looked after that category, but I think what Jen was saying about the 4 days is that there is something for everybody, and it really doesn't matter what your age is, what your gender is, what your demographic is, whatever it is.
What your skill level is?
Yeah, exactly. And the Toronto Maple Leafs will be conducting clinics. Some of the girls' hockey teams will be conducting clinics. So from that standpoint, the youngsters will be looked after. And then, as Jen alluded to, at Harrison Park, Jim McManaman is looking after the Josh Armstrong ball hockey tournament, and that's going to be a big part of what goes on at Harrison Park on the Saturday. And I think the feature attraction is that CBC and Sportsnet, Ron McLean, will be broadcasting live from the Scenic City Order of Good Cheer Arena, Viveca.
Yeah, this is like a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
Yeah, so we're really excited to be.
And just as an example, Ron McLean, I did an interview with him a year ago when we're getting ready for number 2 of Hockey Day, Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada. And the reaction to that interview on our webpage at BayshoreBroadcasting.ca was unlike anything other. Everybody said, "Oh, what a great interview!" And I thought there was just 4 or 5 lob balls for Ron McLean, but he comes with a great deal of star power and is very genuine and very generous with his time. So I think that'll be a huge attraction in the park.
I don't know. Maybe they came for Fred Wallace.
I don't think so.
You never know.
I'd be highly surprised.
I don't know. You're our local celebrity. Come on.
Well, we're scratching.
Okay, so we start Wednesday.
We do.
What's happening Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lead up to the big Saturday?
For sure. So on the Wednesday, we do have an opening face-off, kind of a draft event that happens for our alumni and our VIPs and our sponsors. So that's Wednesday afternoon, and then right straight to the Roxy Theatre for Music of Hockey. So as far as I know, it's a sold-out show.
Because it sold out last year.
It sold out last year, and so everybody was so excited to jump back on board to get their tickets reprinted. So it's a sold-out show, but it is going to be absolutely fabulous. We've got some local talent. The Rock the Sound Choir, Rob Elder and Tyler Beckett will be there, as well as the Dave Mendini Band, and of course, hosted by Ron McLean.
Yeah, so that'll be a great attraction. And one of the things that I'm excited about the Music of Hockey, not so much the music, but beforehand, we have, it's not a red carpet event that we've got planned, but it's something that involves the Ice Hawks organization. So I think it'll be a really nice kickoff. I mean, there's the private function beforehand where we have the draft for the Friday night game, but when we get to the Roxy, there will be a greeting committee, let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. A little bit of fanfare.
Yeah, a little bit of fanfare. And then we jump into Thursday, and we've got a couple school visits, local schools that Ron McLean and a few other celebrities will be attending. Students get to ask some questions. They get to learn a little bit more about Hockey Day. I think that's going to be a real... the kids are already getting excited. I heard through some staff at the city that one of the schools is actually selling Hockey Day jerseys for the kids for Christmas gifts so that they can wear them on that day.
Aww.
So it's pretty cool.
And just as another aside, too, there is all kinds of outstanding Hockey Day in Canada merchandise at the Attack Shack. And basically, that's looked after my Christmas for the last 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I know they
Same.
got a whole slew of new merchants, so sweaters and T-shirts and hoodies, all available at the Tack Shack. And then we've got hockey clinics going on throughout the day at the Harry Lumley Bayshore, and then we kick back into the alumni game Thursday night as well.
Can you tell me what a hockey clinic is?
Wait a minute. What goes Thursday night?
I don't know, Fred, what goes Thursday night? Oh, we have the banquet
The
Thursday.
banquet!
The banquet is
geez.
I
way
thought
more
Jen
important.
changed the schedule on me.
Not
See, I
again.
told you know better than
No,
I.
the one
No,
nothing.
the one. Yeah, sorry. Yes, we have the banquet on Thursday night at the Bayshore. So, it's going to be really exciting. I'm pretty excited to hear about. I don't know yet exactly who the celebrities are that are going to be there, but hopefully we'll get that list soon.
And my understanding is the hosts for the event will be Ken Reed and Viveca Osmack, who I watch every night on Sportsnet Central. So I think that's the case where we just say, welcome to Owen Sound, and away they go. Now, how many tables? 45?
45 tables and it's sold out.
Yes, and I can tell you there's a realtor in the region who was almost in tears because he got right down to the last one and couldn't make the connection, and he finally did get his table. So he's very excited about it. So I think there's quite a range of attraction here that you're going to have people from out of Owen Sound at this banquet, and you're going to have people from Owen Sound and region at this banquet. So it'll be a nice night.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So for those of us who aren't as up on our hockey terminology as others, go sports, what is a hockey clinic?
Fred?
Well, a hockey clinic is where basically.
Come on, you're the hockey guy. I couldn't explain it as best as you could.
All right.
Well, they play hockey.
They play hockey.
Yeah.
They will, and they'll do some drills and some skill opportunities as well. So basically, Viveca, it's an hour of ice time without your coach, but rather somebody else that's come in. So instead of hearing your coach telling you basically the same things over and over and over again, you get a fresh perspective, and you also get a lot of star power because some of the people that are involved in these clinics have played at the highest level of hockey.
So these are local kids teams that
Yes.
are part of this? I see.
The Ice Hawks and the junior attack are going to do very, very well out of this on every level.
Okay.
And I think the biggest level will be the experience that they have coming face to face. This is something funny that happened with the Ice Hawks girls because I went to talk to them about this function at the Roxy. So I'm talking to these 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls, and I'm saying, yeah, it's going to be great. And they wanted to know who would be there. And I said, oh, Lanny McDonald. And they went, who? Or the Darcy Tucker, who? And they didn't know who Wendell Clark was. But their mothers nearly passed out that were in the dressing room. So they were freaking out. So the 12-year-olds might not be that excited, but
The
moms
moms will be there. They'll be taking the afternoon off work.
Hey, the moms have to get them there.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
And if I can backtrack too, we have an officials clinic as well coming up
Yep.
during the course of the weekend. And again, I think it will be less on ice, but more face-to-face conversation with Ron McLean, who was an official.
Oh, cool.
And some guys from this area who are very accomplished officials.
well, isn't that neat?
So that's a clinic.
So that brings us to the end of Thursday night.
So Friday morning, bright and early, back at the Bayshore, we have got the breakfast with the Stanley Cup. So tickets are $5 and $10, so $5 for kids and adults are $10. And we'll see how those ticket sales go. I know that it's been picking up, and there's about 185 tickets sold now. So we'll see what happens come beginning of the year.
Is it a school day? Is
It's a
it?
school day, it is, but it's an opportunity for families, hockey lovers.
It's an opportunity for you, Viveca, to meet Andrew Ference in the Stanley Cup.
That's right. Just get your photo taken
Yes.
with the Stanley Cup, a take-home item. But the really cool part of that is that it's sponsored by Sprucedale Farms, but all the proceeds go back to the Owen Sound Hospital Foundation. And
Oh, that's wonderful.
Their volunteers will be there cooking up that breakfast, and they are so excited to be a part of Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada.
So this is what we've tried to do, or what we visualized to do, and hopefully what will unfold is that you touch all of these areas, whether it's the Owen Sound Hospital Foundation, whether it's the Reach Center, whether it's minor hockey, being the Ice Hawks or the Junior Attack. So like I said off the top, Viveca, we're trying for something for everybody, and it's an ambitious goal, and I think it's one we're pretty close to achieving, and we'll see how things unfold.
It's going to unfold perfectly. Because this is everybody will.
I know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, being in events all these years, there's some stuff that always happens, but you know what? Not everybody sees it. I'll be affected by it. You might be affected by it.
But from the outside, it'll be perfect.
There's no fiasco like a local fiasco.
That is right.
We'll be standing by for any local fiascos.
Yeah. So you can have us back on when we're after, and we can do a whole half hour.
We should do a debrief. We'll do a debrief.
And then
I love that. I will schedule the time immediately. Okay, so we've eaten breakfast with the Stanley Cup. That seems pretty cool. What else are we doing on Friday?
We're heading back to Notre Dame School. They're doing another school visit with them. Back to the arena to do some more hockey clinics. And we've also got the high school games that afternoon as well. So East versus West, St. Mary's and OSDSS girls and boys hockey teams converse on the ice and, converse, hockey.
Play?
Compete.
They play.
Yeah.
They compete. Converse, yeah.
So that rivalry exists in the city. And
it always has.
It's been there for years.
West Hill, OSCVI, now OSDSS. So maybe the landscape has changed just a little bit, but there is East-West. And what I think is most compelling about these two games especially is that high school hockey on a regular basis might attract 30 people. And maybe in this case it'll be much more people, but I think the bigger factor is the high school players will get to play on the big ice at the Harry Lumley Bayshore Community Center. They'll have the video board, they'll have the big sound going, and they'll have competent referees, and it'll be a bigger time experience. With no offense to Blue Water Hockey, but this is on a much bigger stage and during a much bigger week.
It's going to be a game that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. Absolutely.
I was just going to say that. And it's a huge opportunity, right? It's like Fred said, we're really trying to get everybody involved. And it's just an important piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah, and the Crone Cup for a lot of years was a game played between OSCVI and West Hill, and it ran its course, but it always was a highlight of the year, in particular the streaker. So what we're going to try and do is have...
Was that you?
No, if it was me, they would have known. Oh, it's you, Fred.
Yeah, it's just Fred. It's adorable.
Again.
So we're going to try and keep security at a very high level so we don't have a streaker.
On the ice, that can be really dangerous.
I know. Yeah, and then we head into the alumni game. I am so excited for that. I've been to a few of those type of alumni type games before, and it's really cool to see. I always call them the seniors of hockey, but a lot of them are still practicing hockey. They're running other clinics in other communities supporting the youth, or they're playing, senior puffer league hockey still to this day. And it's great to see them all come back on the ice and are very much still involved in their own community and supporting.
And so many players have come through Owen Sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what we're really trying to do is get the eras, if you will. Yeah. And this is what I'm most excited about. I'm in my 60s, so there are probably 3 players in my age bracket that I remember either seeing play or playing against that are going to be in this game or probably be in this game. And I think this is an opportunity to remember them and to showcase them. And that's for the 60s, but there's also some committed that are barely in their 50s, some in their 40s. And in one case, a guy, if we can swing this, he would be here, probably a year after he played in the National Hockey League. So it's going to be a fun game, but the skill level will be pretty high.
No, that's going to be incredible, and I'm sure they're all happy and excited to be able to play in this game on familiar ice for some of them.
Are you going to play?
What's that?
Are you going to play?
No, I'm going to do PA, so I wouldn't even dare go on the ice for this caliber of play. What I'm finding, Viveca, with the people that I'm talking to is there's a level of disappointment for some of them that have hip and knee and back injuries, right? And they really, really would like to play, but the common sense is telling them not to. So we probably lost 3 players from the region that way just because wear and tear.
Well, I feel like the sport used to be a little rougher.
Well, no question about it. And in fairness, we lost one guy because he went to Hawaii, or he's on his way to Hawaii. So.
Oh, well lucky ducky.
Bummer, right?
Yeah.
What a drag.
Shoot. Well, that sounds amazing. So now we finished out Friday night?
No, we're not done yet.
The function after.
Oh my goodness.
After. We have a party after, back in the Bayshore in the Rutherford Hall.
All right, so we've seen the alumni game.
After party.
There's an after party.
There's an after party.
Yes.
So,
okay.
And the theme is when Fred Wallace parties, everybody parties. So
that's right. Honey Hammers. The Honey Hammers will be on stage playing. So another local band. They're phenomenal. So tickets were dirt cheap, $5 for that. Come on out after the alumni game. I know that there might be a few tickets left, but not very many. It's going to be an awesome night.
And this is one of the appeals of Owen Sound as a venue is that we have the facilities to do this.
Yeah.
So we have the MacArthur Rec Center and we have the Harry Lumley Bayshore, and we'll utilize a number of places, number of halls around the city as well. But we can have the variety of functions that when the game is over, you don't have to go to necessarily another location. You're just going to another room in the Bayshore. So
absolutely.
The Bayshore and the Rec Center have been very, very valuable to the city overall, but for this event, extremely valuable.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got an incredible number of rinks, which brings us to Saturday when we drag Fred from the Bayshore, where he's slept now under a table likely, and drag him to...
If this was the 1980s, Viveca, you would be so right.
So we're dragging Fred to Harrison Park for Saturday. Tell us about the events of Saturday.
So on Saturday, the Stanley Cup will be in the River District somewhere. We're getting details about that.
We're not going to say where.
We're not going to say exactly where yet, okay. But Scotiabank.
Yeah.
No way.
It's going to start at Scotiabank, and it's going to be brought in to Harrison Park. So it's going to go down through the River District all the way to Harrison Park. But we're going to be releasing details regarding that very, very soon. It's pretty exciting.
Probably by the time this airs.
Yes, we'll have more details.
We might know, or maybe it'll be a surprise that day. But the biggest topic of conversation in our local organizing committee meetings is how are we going to get that? How are we going to get the cup to Harrison Park?
Oh, Jen's just carrying it.
And everybody has their own fun ideas of what type of vehicle we should put it in, what color of vehicle,
Pope-mobile,
what it needs to look like, who's going to be driving it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an interesting end to the story.
I want to see how we finish up on this, but like I say, this has been a fun aspect of it, and the Stanley Cup will be right there in Harrison Park, and hopefully it's a beautiful winter Saturday in Owen Sound.
Here's hoping. Let's cross our fingers.
Yep, we got lots of activations and sponsors. Charity barbecue, Harrison Park Inn will be open, washrooms on site. But I think the biggest piece of the puzzle will be getting people to the park. And we are going to ask folks to make sure that they do follow the directions. We're going to be putting everything on the website. We're going to have some clear messaging, some media advisories going out before the event because we can't park at Harrison Park. So we're going to have some shuttle buses that are going to be running every 15 minutes to make sure that we can get people to the park for the beginning and get them home at the end of the day. And there'll be shuttles constantly going throughout the day so that we can park in the River District area. We've got a couple churches that we're looking at to also partner with them. So people can park, bring their families, get on the bus, and head to Harrison Park so that we can alleviate having too many vehicles in the park that day.
And if you go back to 2016, I think it was, we had hometown hockey in Owen Sound for one weekend. So we're multiplying this by 2 days and 13 hours. And if you remember the scene in the parking lot at the Harry Lumley Bayshore that day, it was a lot of activity and the night was beautiful. So hopefully we have a repeat of that on the Saturday.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be snowy. Let's just know that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
The event's on Saturday. The big family day event on Saturday. Nobody needs tickets for this, correct? This is
a free event. Come one and come all. Come from the area.
But come on the bus.
Come on the bus.
Or walk.
Or walk, yes. If you're in close proximity, it would be to your advantage to walk. And if not, watch for the shuttle service locations where we can pick you up and get you back.
And this event goes until what time?
6 o'clock.
Yes.
All right.
So Ron MacLean will be broadcasting from the Scenic City Order of Good Cheer Arena periodically. So what happens that day, Viveca, is there's 13 hours of National Hockey League games. So every time they go to an intermission, they'll be coming back to Owen Sound and they'll be shooting Ron MacLean on the Scenic City of Order of Good Cheer Arena until he has to depart. He'll be down to the Bayshore for 6 p.m. So it's somewhere in there. So that just adds a lot of activity. And one of the neat things that's transpiring is that the people involved in Sportsnet via Ron MacLean have asked for vintage Owen Sound jerseys. So we're not sure exactly. We have a good line on about 6 of them, and I'm not going to spill what he'll be wearing, but it'll be a very Owen Sound-centric wardrobe for Ron MacLean.
The Grays?
Could be. Could be.
I'm just going to sit here and guess for the next 2 minutes. Okay, so 6 o'clock, that's the end of Hockey Day?
No.
Of course it isn't.
Come on.
So what do we have next?
We can't sleep yet. We head back to the Bayshore for the Owen Sound Attack versus the Peterborough Pete's game.
Okay.
And one of the interesting things, again, we mentioned Ron MacLean is moving from Harrison Park to the Bayshore. So the Attack will be moving their game up, their start time that day, so that Ron MacLean will start hockey night, which starts at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And he'll have the warm-up essentially behind him for his first opening and whatnot. So the game won't be its traditional 7:30 time for the Attack in Peterborough, but there'll be activity that night. And again, if I understand it correctly, Ron will be in one of the corporate boxes, and that's where CBC and Sportsnet will be shooting him for the entire night.
Okay, and then so Sunday is just Jen collapses into a puddle of goo, correct?
And Fred.
And Fred.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, okay. We'll be back on the radio.
I don't go at it nearly as hard as Jen does.
Well, that's fantastic. And I know that you're going to have a big social media presence throughout the weekend. Everybody will be able to follow along, even if they're not at certain events. Some things will be broadcast. Some things will just be on social. Some things, they'll be available to people in at least snippets.
Yep.
So that's going to be wonderful. And Jen, just as we're wrapping things up here, and Fred, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really informative, and we're going to go ahead and share this out probably a couple weeks leading up to the event. I'm going to guess that you guys are going to be our first season 2 episodes. So there it is. Now I've made promises, so I better write that down. So again, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for educating us a little bit on this amazing 4-day event coming to Owen Sound, Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada. Jen, can you just give us all the socials and the websites and everything we need to be in contact with you throughout the event and before the event?
For sure. So before I do that, though, I just want to say this is really putting Owen Sound on the map. And so if you are a business provider, a restaurant or hotel, really get ready for this 4-day festival, because there's going to be a ton of people in town. But you can find more about Hockey Day, Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada at owensound.ca/Hockey Day. We also have our Tourism Owen Sound Facebook page, the City of Owen Sound Facebook page. There's also a Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada Owen Sound Facebook page and Instagram. So, or give us a call. 376-1440 and ask for myself or any of the staff. They'll be certain to be able to get you up to speed on what's going on. But and if you're looking to volunteer, we'll still be looking for volunteers by the time that this airs as well.
You'll be looking for volunteers up to the date, I'm sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that I'll be there in some aspect volunteering and getting my little fingers in there. But any River District businesses who are watching this or listening in, I'll be in contact with you about how you can get involved. There are currently posters available for businesses. There's some window decals that are circulating and all that kind of stuff. So really just pay attention to our social medias. We'll be broadcasting out a couple of events and activities that are happening in the River District throughout that 4-day span, just to make sure that everybody is in the know and bring you all the information you need. And you can reach us on our socials at River District OS and on our website at owensoundriverdistrict.ca. Thank you again, Fred and Jen, so much for coming in today. We've had a really great time.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Viveca.
you. Thanks, Viveca.
Take care.